Okay, today we're going to talk about circles in the coordinate plane. First, I'll explain to you what an equation of a circle looks like and the parts of it, and then we're going to practice writing the equation of a circle if I give you the center and radius. Let's move up. Okay, so the equation of a circle is x minus h in parentheses squared plus y minus k in parentheses squared equals r squared. Okay, the x and y are points that are on the circle. The h and the k is considered the center of the circle, and r is the radius, which you should be familiar with. Okay, the radius is always squared. You'll also notice that it's always x minus h and y minus k, so you need to use that information when you substitute. Let's say the center is negative, right? If the center is at point negative 2, then in the equation you would be reading x plus 2, because x minus negative 2, you would need to simplify to x plus 2. So the next thing I want to talk to you about is if we have a circle with a center at an origin, right? So what that means is that if we're talking about the equation of a circle, we have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Well, if the center of it is at the origin, we know that the center is at the origin, the center would be at 0, 0. So this would be the same as x minus 0 squared plus y minus 0 squared equals r squared, whatever the radius may be. Okay, we're not going to substitute in for that because I'm only talking about if the center is at the origin. But x minus 0 is just x, and y minus 0 is just y. So when we simplify this, we get this right here. So let's look at our first example. We're going to write the equation of a circle with center at 4, 8, and the radius is at 12. So the first thing you should do is label and define the important information. When we know that the center is at 4, 8, and the radius is 12, okay? Start with the standard form. Let's write in blue this time. I'm going to make this a little bit thinner. We have x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. You want to substitute in for what you know. When we're talking about substitution, you're substituting for the center, which is hk, and the radius, which is r. So if you know that the center is 4, 8, 4 would be your h, 8 would be your k. Okay? We leave the x's and the y's alone, right? Those represent a point on the circle. That's the equation part. So when I rewrite this, I get x minus 4 squared plus y minus 8 squared equals 12 squared. The next thing you want to do is simplify. You need to check two things. One, can I simplify what's in the parentheses? And by that, meaning if you subtract a negative number, then you need to make it an x plus something. But here we don't need to do that. So that's the first thing you're checking. On the left-hand side of the equal side, it is already simplified. You don't need to factor anything. You also need to simplify the radius squared. You would never keep in your equation 12 squared. Instead, I would write this as 144. So this right here is the equation of the circle. This next part I want you to try, so if you can pause this video and then unpause when you are ready to check your answer. Okay, so for the first thing that we're going to do, we know that the center is 12, 14, and the radius is 3. Start with standard form. I wrote that wrong. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay, from here, you're going to substitute. The center, the x value of the center is always h. The y value of the center is always k. And we have that the radius is 3. Substitute. X minus 12 squared plus y minus 14 squared equals 3 squared. Your next step would be to simplify. Ask yourself, can I simplify x minus 12? No. I'm going to leave it. Can I simplify y minus 14? No, I'm going to leave it. Can I simplify 3 squared? Yes, it becomes 9. Here's your final solution. And that